Cal AI, ridiculous claim, track your calories by taking a picture.
Damn, that's actually pretty, wow.
And then if you tell your coach you had a cheat meal and it was only two 200-calorie cookies, so 400 calories, and your coach can't figure out why you didn't lose any weight, you know why. You scammed the scam. And so just don't. Coach Greg, and are calorie trackers a scam? Well, Will Tennyson aims to find out. And which of the calorie trackers is the most famous in the world? I do believe Cal AI comes to mind. And so Will is going to be testing out Cal AI.
Cal AI, ridiculous claim, track your calories by taking a picture, and consistently over 90% accuracy.
Can Cal AI accurately detect up to 90% of the pictures? Well, I do believe that it depends. If the photo are of recognizable foods, and what are those? Bananas, apples, grapes, pears, kiwi, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, basically anything. Normal food. And I do believe that the majority of the food that we eat are normal things that you find around the house, the grocery stores, and so on. I do believe that for those things, probably about 90% accurate, because after all, if it overestimates one thing by a little bit, it's probably going to underestimate another by a little bit. And so it all balances out. And how could it do this? Well, it's basing it on photos and calories of foods around the world that's on the internet. Essentially, it's like a chat GPT in your pocket. But if it's taking a picture of a bowl of soup and the stuff in the soup is on the bottom and you can't see through the top and you think that it's going to accurately detect the calories, well, obviously it's not. No way is my audience that stupid that they would think that it can detect the accurate amount of calories in every single thing. If it's ground beef all ground up and you don't know if it's 85% lean or 90% lean or 96% lean, it can't know exactly how much fat is inside of it. But it's likely way better than your eyes. Is it better than mine? I don't believe so. I mean, I have over 30 years of experience. I believe I'm one of the best calorie trackers in the world. And that's saying a lot. Perhaps 1 in a million are better than me. And Will, I do believe he's at an elite level. He's also like a Coach Greg. He's tracking calories. He's a fitness influencer. He always does this. And so I think he's going to be very close. And so let's see. How does Cal AI stack up to Will Tennyson's laser eyes?
All the influencers are promoting this app, so they must be paying extremely well. Or, well, that's probably just about it. Now, I don't want to speak too soon. I don't want to shit on it yet.
Will Tennyson used Turk Builder, and he said that it works. And so he kept an open mind. He also used those Palms cooling machine things, and he used that. He said that that worked. And so if it works, he's going to say if it works. And if it doesn't work, if it can't do it, he's going to tell you.
So what we're going to do is go out into the real world, put it through 4 different tests, and see how it does. 90% accuracy? No way.
And so he's thinking there's no way it's to 90% accuracy, but I think when it means 90% accuracy, it's 90% of pictures. Most pictures, I think they're relatively easy. If you have 4 chocolate chip cookies and a glass of milk, I mean, how hard is it to estimate those calories? But if it's the soup in the bottom of the bowl and you can't see the bottom, well, that's hard. Cal AI has access to every photo, I do believe, in the entire world. Probably millions, if not billions. And so with that large of a sample size, it's going to be relatively easy to put out an average.
So the kitchen sink cookie is 820 calories. It looks pretty harmless, but it is a sleeper build.
And so I'm looking at the cookie right now, and it's freaking massive. And so my personal opinion is that the tracker, it's going to have to get it wrong. There's no way I would use a calorie tracker for something exceptionally large. It's an outlier. The average cookie, it's like that. And so the calorie tracker, it's not going to know how big that cookie is. And so it can't possibly determine accurately exactly how many calories. But this is an exception. For most cookies, it's going to be about right. But if you have the world's largest cookie, or perhaps in a Mr. Beast competition, and he brings out the world's largest cookie, and you say, how many calories in that? Or the world's largest pizza, it's 14 feet wide. It's not going to be accurate. But for the standard size, something normal, that's when it can be accurate. I mean, don't make me bring up the DEXA scam. Brian Shaw laid in there and it said he had 15% body fat and the density, the bone density of someone 1 in 500 million. And he argued, no, it's accurate. It's accurate. Trust me. It's the golden standard. It's accurate in a specific population. It's not accurate for guys who are 6'8" and the strongest men in the world. It's simply not. He doesn't even fit in the machine.
We're definitely not going to be able to do both arms in.
Oh, that's just for the little guys.
To the same extent, you can't expect a calorie tracker to know the calories in outliers of a cookie as big as my face. It simply isn't normal. And so for that, it's not going to be accurate. And so for that one, you use the calories on the label, you use the barcode, or you write exactly what's inside. How is it different than MyFitnessPal? And everyone speaks highly of MyFitnessPal. I don't see people shitting on MyFitnessPal, and why not? Well, it is accurate. It's good. Calorie is all of those things exactly like MyFitnessPal with the bonus of the photo that's a calorie tracker. It's not to be used every single picture and try to trick the machine.
Oh, I bet I can take a picture of something and it's going to be wrong.
This is to help you. And if you track your calories and you're honest with yourself, remember, Will Tennyson said that many people, they eat, for example, in secret. They don't count everything. You're having a few snacks here and there. You don't put on that you had some mayo. And so you're way off in your calorie tracking. The average person tracks and reports calories under by 30 to 50%. And so what does that mean? Well, you think you had 2,000 calories, but it's actually 2,600 to 3,000. And so with a calorie tracker, you lose your personal bias. You track everything. And so despite the fact that, of course, it has limitations, none of you are morons. Well, most of you actually are morons, but none of you actually think that a calorie tracker can be right every single time.
Theoretically, this app should explode.
It's impossible. He takes a close-up photo of a cookie. How does the app know if the cookie is this big or this big or this big? It doesn't know. And so, of course, it's going to be wrong.
Trying to calculate this thing. Am I going to have a bite or not have a bite? 200 calories. I'm having a bite.
200 calories. It's probably almost 1,000. I mean, look at this thing. It looks like a big crumble, of that what they're called. It looks massive. I mean, I've never seen a cookie in my life this big. And so there's no way the app could work for this. But can you not just look on the label? And so if the calories is right there in front of you, it's on the label.
It's okay. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And I'm happy about that mistake.
On test number 1 of 4, it got it wrong. But it could still pass. Remember, 1 out of 4 wrong, perhaps to get the rest right.
Test 2. How will it respond to a variety of different foods and sauces? So I hit up the Whole Foods hot table and got a bunch of different things, making it hard to track.
And so Will then throws it a curveball. Very, very difficult. He goes to a buffet. It lists the calories per gram on various foods. And so this is a mixture, a concoction of different foods. Very difficult to get correct. I mean, even for Will, even for me, that would be difficult. And so Will has it in at 620 calories based on the weight of the foods and so on. And remember, labels even can lie up to 20%. And so a label could say 100 calories in 100 grams, but it might be 120 or it might be 80. And so everything is obviously an estimate, but how close is calorie? Is it going to be off? Is it going to fail?
This roughly comes out to 620 calories. We're going to see how close this app is. Boom. 600 calories.
600 calories within 20. And in this case, I believe calorie likely more accurate than even Will Tennyson.
I estimated 620, 30 grams protein, 70 grams carbs, and 25 grams of fat.
And not only that, not only do you get the calories, it says 30 grams of protein, 70 grams of carbs, and 25 grams of fat. Did it pass or did it fail? Accurate or not accurate? Remember, it said 90%. The cookie, it failed. Granted, give them that. We all knew that it would. But they didn't claim 100% accuracy. If they did, it clearly would be a scam. They would be liars. But they're not scamming you. They're not lying. They're saying it's accurate in most situations. It's beneficial. But unless you're a professional bodybuilder dieting harder than last time, do you really need to be 100% accurate all the time? Or do you need to be mostly accurate? Now, on my diet, I give it the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, you got to eat healthy. 20% of the time, you can eat perhaps whatever you want. If you do that, you have balance. And so if you're using this calorie tracker and you use the 80-20 rule, this can also work for you.
Damn, that's actually pretty, wow.
That's from Will. And Will went into this thinking there's no way it could be accurate. And so subconsciously, he's thinking it's probably not going to work. The first photo, it didn't work. And so going into photo number 2, he's thinking, nope, I bet it's not going to work. But yet it did.
And now for the 480 calorie pizza. Boom.
The hot box calculation was insanely impressive. The pizza calculation, however, not so much.
285 calories.
285 calories. Now, here's the thing. That is below by 200. But remember when I said that labels can lie? How many of you think that that photo of that pizza actually had 485 calories?
285 calories. Well, that's widely inaccurate.
And so despite the fact that it says 480 calories, it very well could be below that by 20%. Remember, labels lie. They just throw on a bunch of numbers. And so just because it says 480 doesn't mean it isn't 380. Very well could be 380. And so in this case, it's likely underestimating by a little bit. I doubt it's under by 200, but it is in fact an estimate, and it's better than nothing. Is it going to be dead on balls accurate? Well, of course it's not. But ask yourself this. Are you going to be accurate? Can you do better? What these things are, these calorie trackers of any kind, they are tools to help you. When you use an in-body scan to test your body fat, you hold the device. It's a tool. I used it, and I had 19.8% body fat. 19.8%. And so does that tell you exactly what body fat percentage you are with 90% accuracy? Nope. But do you know why? I'm an exception. I'm different from the norm. I'm an outlier. I'm not the average person, but if the average person, 5'6" and 190 pounds, does the in-body, they're probably going to be 19.8%. The average person doesn't have this much muscle. The average person isn't training, racing bikes, and so on. And so it has a very difficult time in estimating. But for you, the average person, if you're going to use Cal AI to take photos of random foods like eggs and cookies and grapes and so on, it's going to be accurate. It's very, very good. And if you have access to a barcode, you're going to snap the barcode. And if you don't know what's going on and you're baking, you can say, hey, 2 cups of rice and 100 grams of chicken. How hard is that? And so what it does is it allows you to track your calories. Remember, most people off by 30 to 50%. Is it more accurate than being off by 30 to 50%? Abso-friggin-lutely. And so if it makes you better, for what, $50 a year? Then I think it's worth it. I mean, it does what MyFitnessPal does for a significantly reduced price. And so if you want the best of MyFitnessPal with the addition of being able to take photos that are accurate most of the time, but of course not always. And so because I believe in them, I've partnered with them for this video. And you can click the link in the description and use code Greg to get 3 days of free trial. Remember, it's way cheaper than MyFitnessPal. Is it perfect? Of course not. Is it better than you? Absolutely. And so if you want to get a tool to help you in your weight loss journey, strongly recommend Cal AI.
Test 3. How close is it to my trained calorie counting eyes? Here's the most basic chicken teriyaki roll with chicken breast, lettuce, and some avocado.
And next, the sushi roll.
I wrote down my thoughts. Let's see how close we are. And we're only 25 calories apart. Another impressive calculation.
Only 25 calories apart. Another impressive estimate. And so guys, are you seeing this? Remember, this is Will Tennyson. This is not me. I'm reacting to Will, who's putting them to the test.
This next test should be the easiest one to pass. So I had the most basic meal on the plate. So it came up to 550 calories. We're gonna see how close Cal AI is. So it's off by 100 calories. It's also off by 10 grams of protein.
It's 550 calories, so it's off by 100. But remember, it might sound like a lot, but being within 100, it's actually very impressive. How do we know if it's actually 550 or 450? I mean, Cal AI is saying it's 450 and a different app is saying 550. Which one is correct? They're both estimating based on what they know. And so Will's saying it's off by 100 calories and 10 grams of protein. And I looked it up. We have 40 grams of protein in 6 ounces of chicken. And so to me, that's about bang on. He's saying it's off by 10. I actually don't know whether it's off by 10 as in 10 more or 10 less. And so I'm asking you, how many grams of protein do you believe are in 6 ounces of chicken? And there's 28.35 grams in an ounce. So there's 168 grams of chicken. But remember, is it 6 ounces cooked or is it 6 ounces pre-cooked? That makes a significant difference, and so we don't know that. And typically, chicken has somewhere between 20 and 25 grams of protein per 100 grams. Based on my calculation, the chicken would have approximately 33 to 42 grams of protein, and so calorie says it had 40. The different apps said it's off by 10, but I don't know if it's off by 10 as in 10 less or 10 more. And remember, this is me saying this. I don't know what all the apps are going to say. I know that depending on where you look, trust me, do you know how hard it was for me to put in the calories of all the foods in this cookbook or the previous cookbooks and so on? It was next to impossible. Everywhere you looked, there's a different amount of calories for the exact same thing. And so what did I do? I took the median, the middle number. Some were higher, some were lower. I said, I'm going to go in the middle. I do believe that that is the most accurate. Kind of like if you're on your weight loss journey, if you weigh yourself 5 days or perhaps 7 days in a week, you're going to get various numbers. Some are up, some are down. And so you take the middle number. That's usually the most accurate so that you can track yourself. And so if your goal is to lose weight and you're using Calorie or any app whatsoever, you want to take that middle number. And so perhaps you look at the calories on the label. Maybe it says 500. Maybe you use your laser eyes. Maybe you're thinking, no, it's probably 600. And maybe you use calorie as well. Maybe it says 400. And then you take the average. You scan it with your eyeballs. Does this pass the eyeball test? And so for that massive cookie, when it says 200, you think, okay, I'm not going to listen to you for this one. And if your eyeballs are saying 2,000, but the label's saying 1,000, let's go with the label. Sometimes labels lie. I went to the store, it was several years ago, I still remember this, and it was sausage stuffed mushrooms, okay? Sausage stuffed mushrooms. How many calories do you think it said it had on the label? 100-gram serving, a zero. It said there were no calories. How could that be accurate? And so if I just went by the label, this is before the calorie trackers and so on, if I just went by what's on the label, well, I would have thought it had 0 calories, but I could go by my eyes. Maybe there's 100 in there, 300. I don't know. It's very difficult. It's sausage stuffed in a mushroom. But if you had a calorie tracker like Calorie combined with your laser eyes, combined with what's on the label, you can pick what's best for you. And so with knowledge comes power, and I do believe that Calorie can help you at certain times during the day. For every single meal, will it be accurate? I don't think so. Remember, I told you I would not lie. And so if you think, oh, you're just saying that, I'm doing exactly as Will Tennyson is doing. He's giving you his honest and accurate opinion. He thinks that Calorie works for some of them. He's amazed. Wow, it's accurate. But for others, like the cookie, it's not exactly correct.
And this is the most basic, no filler, nothing.
Calorie, Scamjit. It's both combined.
For Calorie, remember, I'm giving you the honest assessment. He says it's a scamjit. It's a scam and legit at the same time. It's a little bit of both. His honest opinion is that sometimes it's very accurate and sometimes it's not exactly what I expected. There's no way it's always going to be accurate. And if you're sitting there and you're a friggin' moron, and you take a photo of a cookie and it's this big, it's as big as your freaking head, and you zoom in on it and make it look like it's this big, and you trick the app to thinking, oh, it's just a normal sized cookie and it says 200, and you eat it and you write down 200, and then if you tell your coach you had a cheat meal and it was only 200 calorie cookies, so 400 calories, and your coach can't figure out why you didn't lose any weight, you know why. You scammed the scam. You scammed the scan. Exactly. And so just don't. Don't forget to download Calorie. Use code Greg for a 3-day free trial. I wouldn't be making this if I didn't believe that it could help you. A lot of you are just going to say, oh, you're just doing it for the money. Do you guys understand how much money that I already actually have? I mean, I don't want to brag, but it's enough to spend over $1,000 on a Sharmuta crab just to hang out with the Blue Lobster. I mean, guys, these are fictional characters. I'm personifying them. They're not real human beings. In real life, they don't actually have emotions. And so he didn't technically need a sharmuta. And so I did this because I thought it would be funny when I promote the Blue Lobster pre-workout. This is the kind of stuff that Coach Greg doesn't think. And so if you're interested in Calorie, get the Calorie. If you want to get a different app, get the different app. Just get an app. Okay, Calorie is just really cheap. Now, does it hurt me if you get Jeff Nippard's app, or does it hurt me if you get MyFitnessPal, or does it hurt me if you get any of the apps? No, I want you to get all of them. The more apps you get, the better. Just use the things and be more meticulous with calculating the calories that you're eating. With knowledge comes power, and if you use Calorie, which is the cheaper of the choices, it's gonna help you. Even though it can't calculate the calories in the massive jumbo cookie, it's still gonna help you. And I want to help you. I want you to lose weight and keep it off for the rest of your life. And so I've given over a 110,000 free diet and training programs. Remember, it's free. And so if it was just about making money, why would I give away all these free programs? I would make more money by charging you for a free program than giving it to you for free. Does that make sense? Now, if you want to have more energy and talk faster than last time and have a good time in the gym, you can get Blue Lobstered. Code Greg 15% off. Of course, the Turk Builder Max. You want this if you want to get greater gains in muscle recovery and so on. And if you're looking to decrease your appetite on your diet, which most people are, GLP Max. Remember the Ozempics and all that stuff, the injectables that cost lots of dollars? This is kind of like that, but not quite as effective, but it's still going to reduce your appetite by up to 28%. And so rather than being 8 out of 10 hungry, you're only a 6 out of 10 hungry. That is a dramatic difference. I would recommend this strongly in comparison to even fat burners. I do believe it's significantly better. And if you have lower levels of testosterone, test platinum. And so if you're interested in any of the supplements, there's so many more. Head to the website, code Greg, 15% off. And if you're looking for a coach, click the link in the description. I'm going to read your blood work. You have FaceTime with Coach Greg, unlimited text messaging, weekly check-ins, everything that you're looking for with dramatically reduced prices. And so if you're interested in getting in the shape of your life, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description. And until next time, I am out.